You came for the brows, didn't you? Yeah? 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 Gotcha. Hey guys, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all have really been on me about my brows. I already have like 2 or 3 brow videos on my channel already, but I guess you guys don't like those or something. So here I am filming another one. This is gonna be an updated brow routine. It's pretty much the same thing that I've already filmed, but in 2021. So if it's the same information, then I'm sorry. I'm gonna show you guys a few tricks that I use to get my brows looking somewhat fleeky, I guess you would say. I mean, like, let's be real here. The brows are doing numbers. They're serving brow, they're giving face, they're sitting. And I'm also gonna be showing you guys a few things that I don't think you should do with your brows. Now listen here, these are just my personal opinions of what I don't find flattering about brows. I'm pretty sure that the skinny brows are gonna make their way back in very, very soon. But for now, I'm gonna be serving you guys fluffy brow realness, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. Before you go ahead and start watching this good free YouTube tutorial, go ahead and think to yourself like, this girl could probably use another subscriber. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Subscribe to the channel because I could. And if you find my videos helpful, comment, share it, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Just don't walk up out of here enjoying this good free content without hitting subscribe, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. Starting off with a blank canvas. So the first thing I do with my brows is pick a brow color. I personally think that the brow color that you pick makes a huge difference. I like an ashy brown pencil. I like for my brows to have more of an ashier look rather than a warm look. Since my hair is just naturally dark brown or basically black, I like to use an ashier color pencil because I think it looks more natural. Lately, I've been using the Morphe brow pencil in the shade Latte, and I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. As y'all can see, it's really, really ashy. There's another shade called Mocha that I'll use sometimes, but I don't know, it's a little bit warm for me. And it's a little too dark. So I prefer to use this one because I think it looks less harsh on my eyebrows. And I've said this before, I really do not like black eyebrows. Like, I don't like that. We like soft eyebrows. I don't want to look like I have marker on my brow. So the first step is just brushing my eyebrows up in place so I can see the overall outline of my natural brow. My natural brow is a pretty good guideline for me, but if you don't have very thick natural brows, I would say try to create your arch towards the outer third of your eye. You don't want your arch too far out and you don't want your arch too far in. I know a lot of people will tell you to measure like this, and it makes sense, you know, but I'm not gonna be doing all these measurements with y'all because I just wing it. Just tracing out the shape of my brow, just to kind of give me a guideline of where I want it to be. When I get to the front, I don't like to do a line right there. I like to keep my line like a little bit further back. And then after that, I start filling it in using small brush strokes. And now I'll go on the top of my brow. And I'm gonna outline the shape right here at the top. And now I'm gonna go ahead and brush very, very lightly the front. I'm gonna stop it like right there. I already have enough hair in this space, so I don't wanna fill it in because I think that it's gonna give me too harsh of a look in the front of my brow and I don't like that look. So the next thing I'm gonna do is start brushing my brows through. This step is really important because you're going to want to make sure that the product is blending in and evenly covering the areas that you filled in. You don't want to have any gappy areas that are not blended in. And then towards the front of my brows, doing the same thing. And the leftover product that's on the spoolie will naturally start to fill in the front of your brow without you having to use the pencil. So that's what it should look like. On this side over here, I'm going to actually show y'all what y'all should not be doing, okay? Don't do this. I'm gonna use the shade Mocha. This is the warmer brow pencil that I told you guys that I don't use as much. And I'm not using this shade to say this is incorrect because on some days I actually do like this, but this is a little bit deeper. So on this side, I'm gonna show you guys a common mistake that's made with darker brown pencils. A lot of the times, people will go in way too hard with their brow pencil. You see this? You see all this pressure that I'm applying? That's completely unnecessary. Like, you don't have to have that much pressure going onto your brows because you're going to want a softer look. You don't want anything that's going to look too harsh on your face. Now from here, some people will take the pencil and bring it all the way to the front. This is not going to be a good thing for you because now you're going to give yourself the illusion of the Sharpie brow, and we've graduated past that, okay? We don't want to do this. You're not going to want to do long strokes because all this is going to do is add way too much pigment to your brow. And as you can see, I'm starting to get a very blocky look. So let's say you've already filled in your eyebrows, way too much pressure, too dark. You start trying to spoolie it out. This might take away some of the color. It might, but it's still gonna give you a very smudged out look, and it's still not gonna give you that natural effect that you're gonna go for. I prefer to see the little bit of hair that I have on my brows through my pencil. So that's the reason I would tell you guys to use a really, really light amount of pressure on your brows instead of going in with so much pressure in longer strokes. And then on top of that, this harshness in the front of the brow is very, very hard to take away. I should be able to tell on camera. This side is definitely ashier, this side is warmer, and I feel like this just looks, the color on this one looks a little bit more natural, but I do think that's a preference thing, so don't get caught up on the actual shade that I'm using. Now I'm using my NYX number 14 brush. I'm gonna take a tissue and I squeeze the tip of it really tight so that the brush will end up having a really nice flat shape. And this is what helps me to get a really defined, crisp line under my brow. And I always swipe down, and this is what it should look like. I only add the concealer to the very tip of the brush. So now I'm gonna start from about like right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and follow the outline of my brow. The concealer covered up a lot of the stray hairs that I had, so that's why I like to use this formula. I only have a little bit of concealer left on the brush, and I'm going to use the remainder of product without adding any extra, and I'm going to start to conceal the front. And now I'm just going to bring some of that concealer up toward the middle. Using my finger, I'm going to start to diffuse some of this product because, as y'all can tell, it's a lot of concealer and we don't really want it to be too stark under there. The brow is on its way to fleek. So now on this side, here's what you're not going to want to do. You're not going to want to start your concealer from the front and then blend it out to the end, because you're going to want the least amount of product in the front of your brow. And I'm guilty of this. Like, I have done this in the past and it wasn't cute. Now y'all see how much product I have like right here? It's just too much. Now I'm running out of product for the very end of my brow. So on this side, you guys saw that I gently started like flicking the concealer upward. But what you're not gonna wanna do is take this and make a harsh, you're not gonna want a harsh line like this. You're not gonna wanna box your brow off in the front with concealer. If you can avoid this, don't do it. You've grown past that. So what you're gonna want is a very soft, feathery look in the front. So all you're doing is just bringing your spoolie to the front and keeping that concealer blended out. And if anything, just start to like soften out your concealer in the front. But you're not gonna want to box it off and just have like a stark line right there in the middle. Moving back onto the other side, now I'm gonna take a concealer that's close to my actual skin color, and that's what I'm gonna use to carve out the top of my brows. I know a lot of people do not like to do this step anymore, but it's just something that I do because I like the tail of my brow to be really precise. This is the Juvias Place Concealer in the shade number 9. Because the shade is so close to my skin color, it's not gonna give me a halo brow look. And now with the front of my brow, I'm gonna just start to blend my actual hair in with the concealer because I don't want this line at the top to be harsh. My tail doesn't look as defined as I want it to be right here, so I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of the pencil. And from here, I'll just start brushing my hair through just to see if I'm liking the overall shape. If not, I take my concealer and I start carving it out just to make it look a little bit neater. And now I'm gonna show you guys what you shouldn't do with your concealer at the top. You're not gonna wanna use the same shade up here as you did down here because it's gonna give you a halo brow. If you do it, it's just gonna end up looking like your brow is floating off of your face, and it's not really the best look. Too much product already, and it's way too light. And the other thing that I don't like to see is a very thick tail. Y'all see how big the tail is on this side? It's just not, I think it's nicer when your tail gets a little bit slimmer towards the end, but you know, that's just my personal thing. This side is just looking very, very manufactured. Very not real, giving very blast from the past. You can even use a foundation to do the top of your brows. I mean, that cuts back you having to buy another concealer shade. That works too. I just prefer using my concealer to do that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe this eyebrow off, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in the right way, and then I'm gonna come back with my makeup on and show you guys the final look with my brows brushed through with some gel. So I've got my makeup on, and in case you're wondering what's on my skin, yes, it is the Fenty Skin Tint. I'm thinking that me and foundation are probably gonna part ways for a little while because of this stuff right here. You're gonna have to see the review, so check my last video. But to finish off my brows, you gotta have brow gel. That's what's really gonna give it that natural look. My brows are fine as it is, but they're just like, bleh. You know, there's no life. There's no nothing to them. This is the e.l.f. brow gel, and it's, I don't know, $2 or $3 at Ulta. Get you some, okay? You're gonna need this. So all I'm gonna be doing is brushing the front of my brows straight up. I'm gonna start brushing them at an angle when I get towards the tail. And I'm brushing my brows in the direction that they grow. So, just like that. If you're feeling like they're getting a little bit too spiky at the top, you can always run the brush straight across the top to kind of like, you know, flatten them down, you know? Like that. But I kind of like mine to have a more like rugged textured look. And the brow gel really helps because right here you can see that I don't really have that much hair up here where this is filled in. So I'm just going to be making sure that my brow stays lifted. That makes such a big difference in your brows when you just add a little bit of gel. Tell me I'm lying. You can't. And before you guys ask, on my lips I have the new Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream. She is so cute. I have the shade Cupcakin and my NYX lip liner in the shade Espresso. So that's the lip combo for today. Let me know in the comments if you guys found this video helpful. And if it was helpful, make sure you guys share my video. It'll help your girl grow. And that's what I'm ultimately looking for, you know, that that growth. Find me on Instagram at Breeze Louise, and I'll see you guys in the next one.